Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday.
Good morning.
It is, wait, is it really July 29th?
It really is.
No, like, are you serious? I'm checking my other phone. What happened? Like, where did it go? Summer always goes away way too fast. So good morning, everybody. Look at our new background. We made it. First of all, before we even get going, Eric did a test yesterday. I think we're going to be fine. Whenever we go on location somewhere, there's always the chance of technical difficulties, maybe some buffering. So if that's the case, just know and understand there's not much we can do while we're live, but we're still recording. So if for any reason it gets a little bit buffery, is that a word, buffery? Then feel free just to come back and watch us later because I don't want you to miss this. We are in Smetzer's Pub. Yeah, guys, this is actually in one of my listings. These are dear friends of ours. This is actually their house, and they are so gracious to allow us to do our Monday coffee time here from their beautiful bonus room. This area is, I mean, the whole time I've been waiting for coffee time to start, I'm just kind of like walking around at all of the amazing things that they have on their walls. Obviously, Smetzer's Pub is kind of their vibe that they've got going on here, but there is so much memorabilia. There's so many photos. It's so absolutely cool. Like, even look at the chair. So like the chair, this is embroidered. Like this is the Sounders logo. It is.
No, you said embroidered.
I said embroidered. Embroidered. I said, why does he always mock me? Anyway, but isn't this amazing? Like everything in here is super cool. So I'm up here. I'm not in my normal surroundings. So my like elbow's a little wonky trying to type. So if I missed saying good morning to you, then know that I'm absolutely saying good morning to you. If you're not able to text us, you know that we're still thinking about you out there wherever you are. It's so funny. Jane is one of our diehard family and friends here with Heart and Home Orlando. And she said, she's in London having lunch. I mean, she lives there, so it's fine. But she
doesn't live in London.
Well, I mean, she's in the UK.
Yeah, yes.
So she's in London having lunch, so she's not able to join us the whole time. So pretty cool, though.
But I have breaking news already.
You have breaking news already?
Amy, I'm here on the other side of the bar today, and you might notice all of these Sounders stuff, and we'll tell you what a Smetzer's is in a minute. But I also wanted to point out that these are not just Seattle Sounders fans. These are fans of the greatest football club in the world, Liverpool Football Club. Thank you very much, everyone. I just wanted to share that because there's not as much Liverpool stuff, but they do back Liverpool, as do I.
Is Shafiq on here? Is Shafiq here
I'm not sure he's here. Devlin is here, by the way, to say hi.
Oh, yay!
And I'll back to you, Amy.
Okay, no, seriously, this is cool. So, I have to turn my ringers off. Sorry, the ding dings are going to annoy us because the ding dings. I'm a ding ding. Anyway, all right. So, so like, I wish you could see all of this, and you will be able to see it because we have the full video tour. And through Eric's shot, you could see part of the behind the bar scenes there's the TV, there's the glass shelves with the mirrors behind it, all of the various beverages. It's absolutely amazing. So this is definitely a home. I cannot wait to find the family that is going to make this theirs. It is absolutely filled with fun. This is
let's not bury the lead here. This house is for sale.
Yes, this house is exactly. This house is for sale. This is one of my listings, this is the Arlington floor plan with a super bonus. So there are only a few floor plans that have ever wowed me to the point of I want one, and this is one of them. The Avalon with the super bonus is a Dreamfinders home. A lot of square footage, which is really nice. And as with many of the Dreamfinders floor plans, it's primarily a one-story floor plan with bonus room options. And so where we are right now is a massive game room, fun zone, bonus room, built-in bar that we've already discussed. But what you don't see right this minute is that there's a huge bedroom over there, and there's a private bathroom or a bathroom right beside it. And there's another gigantic bedroom right here that's an ensuite. So when you think about your family and how this home might potentially work, and by the way, there's no one that says you have to live here permanently. And it's not a rental, so it's not something that we're saying you can short-term rental or Airbnb. But there are so many of my clients that live up north or they live elsewhere in the country, and they want to have their Florida home, their Florida vacation home. They want to live here 3, 4, 5 months out of the year. They just want to be able to come and visit. So this is just a super, super fun house. So we're very excited about that.
In the chat, Allie put the link to the video tour.
Perfect. Yes. So if you're interested in that, go back through our messages here and check out the link to the video tour of this property.
What area is this home?
This home is in the Hamlin Village of Winter Garden. So we are here in Disney's backyard. Of course we are. Right here. And what's really nice about this particular community is that first of all, there's a stoplight at the entrance of the community. So that hands down makes me like happy. But as soon as you go out of the community, if you just keep going straight, you're on New Independence Parkway, which is right there in the true heart of the Hamlin shopping area. That's where your Publix is, Ford's Garage, Miller's Ale House. You've got the fast food over there. You've got the Walmart. Everything is over there. So you really are super close to any of the various things that you might want or need on a daily basis. So location is great. Home is gorgeous. Just come by it. Okay, now, with that being said, let me get through to a couple of my other things. So first of all, this is my mug of the day because I had to have it carried from my house. So I had to find something that was insulated. So this, Disney themed. This was from the botched 30th anniversary gift I tried to get to my husband last year. Not this past April, but year ago April. I had was it like a 2-night, 3-day, or 1 night, I don't know what it was. Just at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, just for the two of us to go and have a quick little getaway. No park tickets, just to kind of sit at the resort. So this is from that time that we ended up cutting that short. So, great attempt. But I also have I don't know if I've ever showed you this, but if I did, I'm showing you again. So I said to bring my Diet Coke. So I'm prepared. I have my hot caffeine, my cold caffeine, and I have water. I'm good to go. But here's my cold caffeine. Did we ever show you the little koozies that we had done? This is Relax and Stay a While, the Kidwells, and this is Foxtails Poolside. So we have these little koozies that we have for out by our pool. So I put my Diet Coke in one of those today. So anyway, good morning, everybody. I think everybody's kind of chiming in. I know I did not get to all of you personally to say hello, so, love and hugs. All right, so let's get going. We have a lot to talk about today. You'll notice behind us, one of the main fun features of this home is that fun stuff that's right back there. Again, could not be a weather person. Do you see that back over there? They have a giant TV. There's 2 smaller TVs. So they've got the Olympics on 2 of the screens, and we have coffee time on the other one. So again, and there's a TV right over here behind the bar. So this is absolutely a fun place. I think it's so cool that the Olympics are on back behind us and 2 different events too. Super cool. Anyway, hope you're watching the Olympics. We'll talk about that shortly. All right, so let's get going to what's brewing. Okie dokie. All right, so here are our What's Brewing topics for today. First of all, what's a Smetzer? Olympic prank. Yeah, right. And then offer advice. So these are going to be our 3 topics for today. And of course, we want to talk about what is a Smetzer. So because we talked about the fact that this is Schmetzer's Pub here in a home that is for sale. This is my listing. So if you want this house that I'm in right now, call me. Eric, you want to talk a little bit more about this? Because I can say the Sounders coach since 2016 from Seattle. By the way, it's the Seattle Sounders,
yes.
Former pro player. But do you want to?
So the Sounders fans, I guess, call themselves Schmetzer's Army. And so here, what I'll do is don't come to me on the camera.
Okay.
I'll do this. So we'll just say they have named their thing Schmetzer's Pub. I'm just going to point my camera up there and we'll see. And then we'll go like this. Here. So, okay. I don't know if you can see that.
There you go. Okay, yeah. Yes.
Schmetzer's Pub.
Isn't that awesome?
So, and I'll give you a quick, again, I'm holding this on the thing.
He's holding the tall one.
Quick tour of the bar. And there's Amy. Hi, Amy. But anyway, so Schmetzer's Pub is named after their coach since 2016. So that's what a Smetzer is.
That's very cool. But you know what else a Smetzer is?
What?
I cannot say. That's way too early to be saying Smetzer.
No.
It's also a drink, right? A Sounderita.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Kind of. Well, that's sort of kind of. It's not a Schmetzerita, right? It's Sounderita. Okay, so if you want to know how to make the official Sounderita, there's a beverage recipe for you. That's a real thing?
I have all the ingredients back here to make one.
You do?
I'm not going to.
I don't think you should.
It's
only 9:10.
But I would make it because they literally have everything here. So
what does it take? Tequila, triple sec, sour mix, ice.
Yes, and champagne.
Champagne. and then a lime wedge. Lime wedge is cute.
I don't have a lime wedge, I don't think. Although they probably do have it. They have everything.
They probably do. Anyway.
They even have champagne, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, I'm looking at this. I'm like, I don't even see, I feel like I see a thing of sprinkles over there. I'm so not, yeah, see, like, seriously, this is, they have, like, sprinkles. But that would be really pretty. Oh, I guess to like put on the rim of a glass. See, I don't drink enough to know these things. So, anyway, all right.
Now, when you come to Schmetzer's Pub, you are required anytime you live stream to do a shot of tequila. So we'll do that at the end. I'm kidding. I'm gonna make you that in the morning. See if there's some Baileys to put in your coffee. Oh, you don't have coffee?
I do have coffee.
Oh, well then there we go. Boom. Okay.
I've got my coffee. I have it in my.
I'll Baileys you up here.
My 100 years of wonder. By the way, what happened? Just on a Disney note, since we do live here, in Disney's backyard, did they not make the? Remember how when we took the kids, they were always shorter, but they were fatter.
Yeah.
Why do they do these? Do you remember, guys? Those of you, I know you do.
Because there's less liquid in there. I think.
I know, but it's like there's like little bit of liquid in here. Like when we went, we would fill this up. We'd go down to the little I can't think of it, the food court type place. We'd fill it up with our Diet Coke, of course. And then by the time we got back to our room, I had already consumed all of it. So I need the bigger ones anyway. Do they have the big gulp version for Disney mugs? Anyway, moving on. Okay, so that is what a Smetzer is. So here we are, Schmetzer's Pub. Now, first of all, you have to love the decor. But let's just think about you for a minute. Do you have a favorite football team, whether it's soccer football or whether it's football? Do you have a favorite, any kind of a team, different soccer team, anything? You could make this your total fun zone. And it really is super fun. Like, I'm going to hang out here afterwards. They don't know that yet, but I'm hanging out today because I don't want to go back home. Anyway, I'm moving on. Let's go back to our second brewing topic. Okay, so this one is hysterical. But before I hit the little button, I have to tell you, well, I guess I'll hit the button and then we'll talk from there. So, Eric has forever. I mean, honey, when did you start this joke?
Since I've been on Facebook, which is probably 15 years ago.
Oh my gosh, it's absolutely hysterical.
Every Olympics, every Super Bowl halftime.
Yes, every big like opening ceremony or halftime show. Anytime it's like real big. So Super Bowl, halftime show, Olympics opening. Eric, for whatever reason, I mean, we're just goofy people. We're just goofy, right? So he made a joke one time that at the time Forrest and Alyssa were in the halftime show or something. And it was a joke. And like, he'd be very specific.
I actually know when it was. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if I messed up my shot or not, but I know when it was. It was when Katy Perry I said, we couldn't say anything until now.
Yes.
But Forrest is the shark on the right. And the left shark became like this internet meme because they were messing up. And I said something about that my son Forrest had gotten the part of the shark on the right. And people believed it.
You're just joking.
Yeah. And I think the key to that joke was that I said I didn't say he was the left shark. I said he was the one on the right. Like he was the nondescript, like meaningless shark that didn't become an internet meme. So I think it gave it credibility. I don't know. And so people believed it. So then I just started doing it like literally every time.
But people know, I mean, just so you know, our friends know it's a joke and they look forward to it every time. Like if you look at the comments and stuff, sometimes they're like, I was waiting for this. I couldn't wait to see this. However, there are some people who don't realize that we're joking. So Eric?
So I'll let you put the thing back up in a second. But so Amy used to teach at the Governor's School for the Arts, and one of her students, Caroline, is an entertainer. She does cruise ships and theme parks and those kind of things. And so I'm out, and I get a message, and it says, Eric, this is so exciting that your kids are in the thing. I wonder if I could ask you a favor. Could you get me in touch with the production company that they work with? Because I'd love to be a part of the next opening ceremony. And I had to go, I'm so sorry. It's totally a joke. But every year it goes along. And so if you put the thing back up on the screen, the one with my post.
Oh, yeah.
I even have friends from high school that now they'll play along. So my friend Anand is like, oh, I was wondering which one they were. And I was like, yeah, my son Dawson. I said, a lot of people don't know that horse on the water is a submarine that's bicycle powered. He's the one. And he was like, oh, that's so cool. But he gets it.
Right. So he's just playing along.
It becomes a whole thing.
It becomes a thing.
You guys can know every time our kids are in the opening ceremony. And they'll be doing the Super Bowl halftime coming up this January.
Yeah. And to be truthful, they have never been a part of it. That was now we have had friends that are or were, but no, like that was not legit. It was completely funny. We love practical jokes. And, I won't get into the whole story because we'll move on to our brewing topics. But there was a time, we talk about practical jokes. There was a time that I ran a rehearsal. I was choreographing back in my dancing days. I had my dance studio and I was doing the choreography for Crazy for You, which is a fantastic musical. A lot of tap dance in it. And so I told the drama teacher, I said, I will do the choreography, but I would love to cast this early. Like I'd love to cast the spring musical very early so that like in the fall even, so that I can give them some free tap lessons just so that we can have some more, believability to a high school production. Anyway, and so as we got closer, I ended up holding a Saturday rehearsal, which was a long day's rehearsal at my dance studio for the musical. And I don't know what possessed me to do it, but I decided to speak in a Texas twangy accent and tell them that I was my twin sister, Annie.
Well, you set it up like a week before. You told them that you were going to be out of town and that your sister Annie was going to be there. And they totally bought it.
They did. They totally bought it. And I didn't let up. As Eric will tell you, the key to it is commitment, right? And so I committed the entire rehearsal. I even changed jewelry. I didn't wear the same jewelry that I had done. And this was the little tiny little mole birthmark that I have. I had pictures of my whole family and everything up near my stereo at the studio. And so the kids were coming, they're looking at the picture and they're looking at this. And I was like, because we're twins. I was like, but hers is on the opposite side. So I got them so confused. It was honestly, it was hysterical.
It didn't occur to them that there weren't two pictures of you together. Your twin sister.
Anyway, we like to be practical jokers sometimes. It makes us laugh and it makes other people laugh. So
it's not a joke, Amy.
Yeah.
The offer process is not a joke.
It is not a joke.
Although it was a joke this week.
It was a joke this week. So our process, our third brewing topic today is offer advice. And so it is so important to understand the individuality and the individual unique nuance of the buyer and the seller and the property. It is not a one size fits all. So where is that picture, my dear? Let me see. Hold on. I gotta find the picture. Oh, wait. The other thing we didn't talk about, the Olympics. Celine.
Oh, yeah.
Let me do that. Let me go back and finish up our Olympics. So I wanted to point this out. Recently with the whole What I'm Watching, I told you that I had just recently coincidentally had no idea she was going to be in the opening ceremonies. I had just watched the documentary on Celine Dion. And then, just coincidentally, then to see her at the Olympics was amazing. So if you have not seen that, I suggest you watch it. It's just it's like 2 hours or something. It's a documentary. But it sheds a lot more light into that performance and why that was a tearjerker in so many different ways. So didn't want to forget to mention that. Okay, so now we're going to go to the offers. All right, too bad, so sad. Do not assume that cash is king. Make your best offer and don't get mad. All right, so let's talk about this a little bit. So first of all, so I had, and we're, this, right? We teach in stories. We tell you about real life examples of things that have happened and you can learn from them, the good, the bad, the ugly, the ways to do it, the ways not to do it, the ways that things may backfire. And that's kind of what we have here. So on Thursday, so on Monday we did coffee time. On Thursday, I listed a little condo. It was like 918 square feet, teeny tiny little condo in Winter Garden. Was priced at $229,990. So anything under $300,000 in Winter Garden's amazing. But this was a little condo, and it had immediate activity right away. Within a few hours, I think it was like 4 hours, we had an offer of $218,888 cash offer. Cash offer of $218,888. I don't really know where they came up with that number, but that's what they did. So I'm like, well, within 4 hours, that's way too low to accept that offer. So this particular realtor is going to be a consistent thread throughout this conversation. Because when I replied right away, well, of course, I'll do my due diligence. I present it to the seller and say, hey, we have a cash offer. And they're like, that's just like hard pass. Thank you very much. And so we did. We said, no, thank you. And they're like, well, we'll come up to whatever. So, and I'm like, nope, we've already got another offer that's coming in that we're going to be reviewing and blah, blah, blah. So point is, this cash person kept lowballing and he would squeak up. And at the time, with as much activity as we were getting, that was a great indication for us that it was priced right, that it was likely to go under contract quickly. And we ended up with multiple offers. And it was, I think it was 2 days it went pending. And see, here's the problem. So there was a couple of different things, and this is why the whole offer strategy, whether you are on the buying end, whether you are the realtor on the buying end, or whether you are on the listing side. So what mattered to my client was the net. What mattered to my client was how much they would make off of the sale of the property. So the cash offer didn't really matter to her, especially if you're going to lowball her. She's like, I don't care if it's financed. If they're a good qualified buyer, a financed offer at a higher price was more desirable to that seller. So you cannot always think that a cash offer in your situation is going to warrant you being able to come in low. Now, had that cash buyer come in right away at asking price, they would have gotten it. But they didn't. They kept trying to lowball it and lowball it. And guess what's happening while they're squeaking up $1,000 at a time? Even though I'm talking to them on the phone and telling them we need to be here or it's not going to work because we've got these other offers. Meanwhile, other offers are coming in, and we ended up with an offer over asking, but it was financed. So that's the offer that they ended up taking. Now, the flip side of this is that there was another agent out there, and she also had a client that was interested, but she had commitments for the day. So she's like, I'll send an offer this evening. That's fantastic. But my due diligence is to my client, which is my seller. So if we've got multiple offers coming in and she wants to sign one quickly because she wants to get this ball rolling, and we have a good offer that's going to net her what, the highest that she's probably going to be able to get, because candidly, any higher, and I would have had a conversation with her about maybe not accepting it because of an appraisal issue, because we priced it right. Remember, we talk about this all the time. We price it right, and we don't want to, we're going to get you the maximum that we can get you, where we feel like we have the data and the comps to support that price. But if you want to squeak over it for the sake of getting your offer accepted, if it's financed, we're going to have an appraisal issue potentially. If it's a cash offer and they want to pay over, okay, that's fine because there's no appraisal. So anyway, so this other realtor, she finished her day's worth of work. She comes home at about 8 o'clock at night. She's like, I was just getting ready to submit my offer and I see that it's pending. Well, that's so sad. And I'm like, I am so sorry. But we had multiple offers coming in. Good one, Eric. We had multiple offers coming in, and, the realtor's like, well, why didn't you do highest and best? Here's the reason we didn't do highest and best. Number one, my seller didn't want to do highest and best because it's her home. It's her mindset. It's what she wants to do. And secondly, we had an offer that was over asking that we felt very comfortable with. So the point of this is to make sure that you understand you as a buyer, you as a seller, you as a buyer agent, and you as a listing agent. You can't just think of it as a one size fits all. You cannot think that cash is king. And it very often is not. The benefit to a cash purchase, and by the way, there are many, and if you have that much cash, congratulations. Like, a cash offer is always desirable. It is most often, more desirable than a financed offer unless you're coming in low. And if the overall net for the seller is what's going to make the difference, in this case, it was about a $5,000 difference by the time at the very end. And I will say, this other agent then was like, have they signed the offer yet? And I was like, yeah, they've signed it. Like, well, have you sent it back to the buyers yet? And I'm like, well, we have signatures, so we're legally under contract, because he wants to squeeze in his cash buyer now. Now he's going to listen to me and come up in the cash offer and come in at asking. Well, at that point, it's too late. So you just have to understand there's a lot more of a nuance to this than just a one size fits all. And it really, really, really is important for you, no matter what role you are playing in this, to understand that and be strategic. And on that note, we're going to talk about, when we go through our wishes, we're going to talk about our lovely sellers here in this home and how we were able to make a really interesting situation be beneficial and advantageous to them. Eric is raising his hand. Yes, sir.
One of the things two things, you kind of touched on it. It's like, why didn't you do highest and best? Well, we're not really in a highest and best kind of time right now, but it is, a realtor, it's our job to get our seller the most money possible. So yes, there are times when you get offers coming in, and so what we'll do is then we'll say, well, okay, we'll do highest and best offer by 5 o'clock tonight. That way everybody knows,
right.
Put in your highest and best. Our client didn't want to do that. They were like, okay, this is a good offer. It was, there were other factors in there that meant, a lot to them, and they just were ready to go. So you can't count on the realtor doing that. So that's number one. Number two, at some point, okay, my wife, that lady, okay, she is the number one realtor in this area. She just is. We're not making that up. At some point, people are going to figure out she doesn't BS. She's not lying to you. She doesn't play the game of, well, we have several offers coming in. A lot of realtors do that stupid game. We have a lot of offers coming in to try to get you to bump it up. She just tells the truth. She says, we've got other offers, so if you want your 218 offer, 218,888, which tells you right away they're trying to be gamey. She told him right away, if you bring it up to asking price, it'll get done. She just tells the truth. And I think sometimes they're thinking it's some kind of game. It's not a game. We're just telling you the truth. If you want the house, this is what it's going to take. Let's go.
Yeah. I think everybody thinks that you have to counter offer everything. So there are some times when sellers want to list their home because they, anticipate somebody coming in lower. There are times when, buyers don't want to pay asking price, so they come in low with the expectation that the seller is going to meet them halfway. Does that happen? Absolutely. Do I like it? Absolutely not. Because I don't think that is a fair way to run a real estate business. It's about the fair value for the property and always working in the best interest of your client, whether it's the buyer or whether it's the seller. If it's the seller, you want to get the most you can possibly get for the property of the home based on the real value of it. And, for the buyer, you want them so here's the thing. Eric says this all the time and I love it. What are you trying to accomplish? Okay. If you are a seller who's like, well, let's just put it on the market and see, I'm not in a rush. Okay. Then there's a whole different strategy for that type of a seller. If you are a seller who's like, look, dude, I do not want to pay 2 mortgages. I have got to get rid of this house immediately. That's a completely different strategy. If you are a buyer who's like, well, I'd like the house, but I don't really care if I get it. That's a different strategy. And you always have to understand that. But if you want the house, if that is your house, then we have to keep that at the forefront of how we either price the home if it's a listing, or how we submit and strategize with our offer if you're on the buying end of that. So, Eric, do you want me to talk a little bit about this one, about the house they're buying?
We can talk about that in a minute. I want you to talk about that Kim closed on her house in Connecticut.
Yeah, I just squinted, Kim, and I was like, oh, I see something. So yeah, congratulations, Kim. That's fantastic.
And then we want to honor questions. She also had a question about hurricane tips for new residents of the area.
Where is it? Who's
it's Kim. She just said now that it's hurricane season, do you have any tips?
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, absolutely. Let me do this. I can't find that comment. But yeah, so hurricane tips. So first of all, yeah, I mean, we are definitely approaching that season. So it's important to kind of make sure that you have things prepped and ready. In many, many, many cases where we live here in Central Florida, it's not going to be to the extreme that it's going to be on the coast. Whether it's Gulf Coast, Atlantic Ocean side, certainly not Miami, but it still could very well affect you. So it's always about the same typical things. Make sure you have flashlights, make sure you have batteries, make sure you have water, make sure you have food, make sure that you have wipes. This was a great tip from my mom, like a long time ago. She's like, make sure you have a lot of baby wipes or Clorox wipes, because you can wipe stuff down in the event that things get bad. We've mentioned before that our worst hurricane that we actually experienced and lived through was Isabel when we lived in Virginia. It just sat over top of it. It was like 10 days that we didn't have power. It was not great. It was like Pixie Sticks. If you remember what Pixie Sticks, that game, is that what it was called? Oh no, Pickup Sticks. Yeah. Pickup Sticks. Yeah, we do it and they drop down. That's what the trees looked like all around us, because we had so many trees. They're like just like this all around Eric's parents' house. Coincidentally, around his house. None of them hit his parents' house. Crazy. But So again, you just want to be prepared and you don't want to be complacent. And I think that's the most important thing. So make sure that you're stocked with food, canned food. Make sure you're stocked with water and medication, things like that. Basically, be prepared. Do they have a guideline for how many days you should be prepared? Is it like 3 days or something? 7. So make sure you have 7 days worth of food and water, medication, supplies, things like that. But yeah, there's actually a whole list. And Kim, I mean, I'm sure we can find one for you. Maybe not right now since the show's already happening. But that's a really good question. One of the things that you have to think about too, Eric had this fantastic idea. I think we should market it as a thing to sell. But one year, it wasn't in our current home, but it was in our other home in Florida. He took, because the water started to, like, the rain was like kind of coming in and up underneath the garage door, even though the door was down. I guess it was still coming with enough, force or whatever. He took the foamy pool noodles. And do you remember that? He did these foamy pool noodles and some tarps and was able to kind of create this buffer around the base of the garage door so that it didn't come in. It was a very cool contraption that he created. But anyway, yeah, so food, water, emergency supplies, toilet paper, paper towels, wipes.
Kim says her greatest fear is no air conditioning. That's a decent fear.
That's a decent fear. So here's the other thing. Obviously, you want to have a radio, some sort of a battery-operated radio or something where you can tune in. There's a lot of things now that probably aren't, well, they didn't exist when we used them. But when we were in Virginia for 10 days, we had this tiny little, like, travel TV that was battery-operated, but it also got radio channels. So we were able to listen to the newscasters as they were telling us when we should expect. I'm getting chilly bumps because that was such a crazy time. Elizabeth was a baby. She was like a baby at the time. I actually
had her in a batting helmet running down the street to get to a safer house.
It was insane. It was scary. Trees were falling on our neighbors' houses across the street, and then they're running out over to other neighbors' houses, and men are all running with the tarps, and kids are running with baseball helmets to somebody else's house further up the street that didn't have as many trees around it. It was very scary. So it can be scary. Again, we're in Central Florida, so the brunt of that, we could still get really, intense winds and rain for sure. But the main thing is to remember that these new homes are built, with new building codes that are going to really help your home, kind of resist some of that. So anyway, but yeah, that's a good idea. Yes, sir.
You have a question from, I think it's Kai, and you can handle the first part, and I promise to handle the second part the way you would want me to handle it. It's about apartments in Horizon West.
Yes, I see it. Okay.
And I'll do the second part, but I promise I'll do it the way you'd want.
Okay. What is going on in Horizon West? Why are there so many apartments? Who do we vote for, Wilson or Arthur? Okay. All right. Well, okay. All right. So apartments. So yeah. So we talk about this a lot. So first of all, I mean, I think the apartments aesthetically, I think they're very nice looking apartments. We like that part of it. I agree. I think we're getting a little bit too many of them, but that's part of the plan. I think the thing that is most worrisome is the schools, and the schools being able to manage the continued growth of our population here in Horizon West and how that will affect the schools. And if you live here, there's a lot of schools being built. The new Atwater Bay Elementary there in Waterley is going to be opening this fall. And aren't you say they're opening with actual room for the first time,
they're
right?
Not over capacity.
They're not over capacity at opening. So that's fantastic news. Sorry, the stool's spinning. Hold on, let me get myself situated. Okay, I didn't realize it spun. I was like moved around. Okay, ooh, it's comfy. Okay, so yeah, I mean, they are everywhere. I kind of have mixed feelings, right? It's like I really wish that they would kind of like slow their roll with the apartments, only because it's just contributing to the traffic. And until they can get, like, for instance, if they're not going to connect, Fleming's to Sawgrass Bay Boulevard until Avalon is complete, then can we stop building the apartments until that's done? That's just my personal opinion. But, and now I have and seriously, guys, this is a very big thing for me. I do not talk politics. Eric's like, do you want to put a topic about politics and why we don't talk about politics? And I'm like, no, I don't want to bring that up. But Eric, you said you'll handle it.
Well, because we are where we are right now, I'm going to say this. So we're at our friend's house. We were soccer parents together. Mm-hmm. Okay, we were all on that same team, was Nicole Wilson's son.
Yes.
So we don't talk politics, and just so you know, like that would be my policy. But this is Amy's show, and it's her thing, and so I totally get that. I will just say that on the subject of who to vote for, we're not going to get into that one. I will just say that we know Nicole Wilson personally, have known her for many, many years, and on the apartment issue, there is a master plan. Okay, now we don't have to love the master plan,
Right.
but the master plan includes a master plan for lots of apartments.
Yep.
And I think sometimes people didn't look into that. Where I think that that there is actually no difference in the two candidates, I think, is that what we want to avoid is there's all of these rezoning meetings where they're like, this was scheduled to be single-family housing, or this was scheduled to be townhomes, and now they want to change the zoning and build an apartment complex. I think that Nicole Wilson's opponent says that he'll vote the same way. Nicole Wilson has consistently tried to push people to get to the public meetings for those things,
Yes.
to say, hey, speak up. One of the problems we have in Horizon West is that we have one commissioner out of 6, right? So it seems like very often the other commissioners are not as engaged. And so they get a recommendation from the staff that says, from the development staff that says, hey, yeah, go ahead. That's fine. Another apartment complex, fine. And so they just kind of go stamp, whatever. Nicole Wilson has consistently voted against those things, but she's one voice. So
Right.
so again, not going to tell you who to vote for. I will just tell you that for me personally, we know Nicole very, very well. She's a very good person. That's not to disparage anybody else. That's just to say I'm happy with the way she's voted, and I'm very happy with her as a person. That's all I have to say about that. Amy's like, okay, now we're done.
No, I agree. I mean,
get it.
It's just that I don't want to.
I think I know what to say.
Okay.
So we talked a couple weeks ago about stay in your lane, right? People
Yes.
don't come to us for politics.
No, they don't.
And by the way, for the next 6 months, you're going to love this reserve of no politics here on Coffee Time and in Amy's stuff. Okay?
I mean, we have strong beliefs and views,
Totally.
by the way.
But you guys don't care about
You
that.
don't need to know that. That's fine.
Some realtors in Horizon West, there are other places to find out how you align with the issues, and we respect everybody's feelings about it. Does that make sense? And so our lane is to talk to you about life and living in Horizon West and real estate in Horizon West, and that's the lane we'll stay in. Thank you very much. Reporting from the other side of the bar, I'm Eric Kidwell.
Very good. Okay. All right. So, where were we on our topics? Did I finish the last one? It was the offer thing, right? Offer advice.
Yes, offer advice you're done with. So why don't you go to ROI? Go to the work.
Sure.
Oh, now come on, Amy, tell me what's the word.
Okay, ROI. You have probably heard ROI. If you've always wondered what does that mean, it stands for return on investment. This is something that we actually talk about a lot in many different ways. We just haven't really mentioned it as a term so much, and what that might mean, and to make you more aware of if someone says, well, what's your ROI? And you're like, ROI, I don't know. ROI means your return on your investment. Now, obviously, if you are an investor, no matter how you invest your money, whether it's in stocks, whether it's in real estate, whether it's in something else, your return on the investment is something that is going to matter, right? You don't want to buy something and then, let's just say real estate. Let's just say you're buying a rental property, but let's say your mortgage payment is $3,000 a month on that rental property, but you can only get $2,500 a month to lease it. Well, that's not a great return on your investment because you're not even covering your mortgage payment. So there's different ways you can think about that. The way I'm referencing it here is going to be related to real estate and what you do to or for your home. So, and we do talk about this many, many, many times. I constantly, and it's okay because I would do the exact same thing where you have a listing And they're like, and we have this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And in many times, well, you bought it for that. That's what the builder put in it. That's what you chose at the time. So that's an option or an upgrade that was already included at your purchase price. So that's not something you get to double dip on. But let's just say, I'm going to use my house as an example. Okay. The very first thing we did was we repainted the interior. I don't get any return on my investment for painting my walls agreeable gray from the, ugly white that the builder painted it. That's just what I did. But it still cost me. We did custom closets in every single one of our closets, including the pantry. That was expensive. That's fantastic. But let's just say I spent $10,000 to get that done. I'm throwing out numbers. I don't remember what it was, so don't start yelling. Let's just say it was $10,000 to get all of the custom closets done. I don't get to add $10,000 to the value of my home. I wish I did, but you don't. Then let's just say the pool. We talk about pools all the time ad nauseum. We talk about pools. And if you add a pool to your home and you spend $100,000 on it, you don't get to mark up your home $100,000. I mean, you can, but the appraiser is not going to give you that same dollar for dollar value. So the way I like to think of it is, instead of the return on the investment, is the return on your quality of life. So would I be as happy in my home if I did not have that pool? No. Am I going to get the full value for the pool out of it when I sell it? Probably not. Most likely not. But I'm enjoying it now. So the investment is actually giving me joy here and now. And really, that's all we get to count on, is the here and now, right? Not so much thinking about, well, if I go to sell it, is that going to give me more money? I want to be joyful now. I want to be happy now. Do I, go into my closets every day and think about, oh, this is going to be such a great upgrade that, I'm going to get a lot more money for this? No, but it sure does make my life a lot easier when I go to organize things and put things away, whether it's in the closet or in the pantry, to know that we have nicer shelving and it's more efficient use of space. That is my return on my investment, is my joy today. And we can go on and on and on and on. But ROI means return on investment. If you are all about the numbers game, then this is going to matter in a different way to you than it matters to me. But when it relates to real estate and what you have done to and for and in your home, you have to think about that part of it in the sense of, are you doing this for you? And so that you can live in your home and be joyful and happy in it every single day that you're in it, 365, 24/7? Or are you putting that in there so that you can, make more when you go to sell it in however many years that may be? Because I will tell you, time and time and time again, people do options and upgrades and put things into their home, and they do all of this stuff. They sell it 2 years later. You're not going to get the actual financial return on the investment that you're thinking in most cases. So I think that's really important. So, hold on. Real quick, Eric raised his hand, but before I go to Eric, the other thing is, like, those of you that watched our video where we did the fireplace wall treatment to our house, that was not a cheap undertaking. The trim work was not a cheap undertaking. I don't care about that. It is going to help me sell the home when and if I ever go to sell it later, because it's a great, wonderful built-in feature. But what I love is that I have my family's pictures all up and displayed. I love that there's the mantle. I know it's a stupid thing. It's just a wooden piece of chunky mantle up there. I love it. I love the fact that I can click on the fireplace, even if it's 100 degrees outside. I know that's silly, but I can do it. And what I'm really excited about is the joy that brings me today. And that's why we did it. It's not for the future. It's for today. So Eric, yes, sir.
Well, so I think we mentioned this a lot, but a lot of times the people that, the things we run into are, most of the videos and things you see on social media are from an investor's perspective. I saw a video that had like 78,000 views on it. It was about, don't move to these 5 Florida cities in the next 2 years because prices are coming down. And I'm like, wait. So if you're saying don't buy a home here as an investment in the next 5 years because your value might go down, that's one thing. If you want to move to Disney's backyard in the next 2 years because you think prices are going down, that's a reason to move, because now you're getting in at a lower price. Right. So much of the discourse comes from people going, what's the value that I can get back to this, as opposed to, what joy do I get out of it? So return on investment is a financial term generally, but I like the way you're approaching it, which is you get returns in other ways other than money. So that's all I have to say about that.
Good. That's all I have to say about that too. Shall we go on?
Sure.
Shall we move on? What do we have? What do we have? What do we have?
I mean, you can do cup.
Cup. I'm gonna do my cup. Okay, this is our little segment that we reserve for the things that make me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, and it is the reminder of why I do what I do. And I have to tell you, what day was it, guys? What day did I come see you? Devlin and Kimberly. First of all, they purchased a beautiful Belmore floor plan over in Waterley. Gosh, they closed on it months ago now. But I love them so much. They called and said, hey, we've got some peaches. Would you and your girls like some peaches? We went to the peach truck, which, by the way, see the big, beautiful orange box there? They're like, we've got some extra peaches. You know, if you and your girls would like some, we'd love to share them with you. By the way, who says no to fresh peaches? Like, are you insane? Oh my gosh. So
shout out to the cobbler there on the top, because that just didn't just happen.
I know.
That's my girl did that.
I made the cobbler. But yeah, so Kimberly and Devlin adore them. I think Devlin, you were here a minute ago. Hopefully you guys are both here. Love you guys. But yeah, so my cup runneth over today. Clients, we don't forget about you once you've closed. They are ecstatic to be here in Disney's backyard, and it was an absolute joy and honor to help them. But yeah, I swung by, picked up the peaches, had a quick little chat with them, had a donut. And then I came home and I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with all these peaches? Because you don't think about it like when you eat a peach, but when there's an entire box of them, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try a peach cobbler.
And Devlin is still here.
Devlin is still here. Yay! Excellent. So I made this peach cobbler. It could have been better. I put a little bit too much cinnamon in it.
Just hard disagree. That's so good.
Really?
Yeah.
But can you see the peaches in there? I mean, those are not canned peaches, my friends. Those are fresh peaches. I learned how you put boiling water. If you don't know this, I learned this because I don't cook. I don't bake. My family's picky. I don't enjoy it. It's not something that I thrive on. If I could live without eating, I'd be thrilled. But clearly I eat. Anyway, but what I did learn is that if you take the fresh peaches and you have a pot of boiling water and you need to peel them like you did for this cobbler here, you take the peach and you gently put it in the boiling water for like 30 seconds, and then you pull it out and you put it in an ice bath. You put it in the ice bath for a couple of minutes, and then when you pull it out, you can just peel that skin off the peach, and then you've got and these were the juiciest peaches. It was like the kind you bite in and it's like dripping down. It was amazing. So thank you, Kimberly and Devlin. I adore you guys. I thank you so much. Not just for the peaches, but then they also, I almost forgot. They also gave us some mugs. Now keep in mind, these are meant for righties. So I have to, there's this one. Let me get back here. So they gave us some coffee mugs for coffee time. I would have had my coffee in it, guys, but because we're doing it on location day, I couldn't carry my mug. So we got these two beautiful new mugs here. I love them. Eric and I are sharing them, of course, but love them. Absolutely beautiful. Which one has water? Oh, the blue one has water in it for me. So I was like, I don't want to dump it and spill it. And then they even thought of our little grandbabies and had these cute little from the is it the Electric Light Parade? Is that what did they still call it that? Anyway, little toys for them. So again, my cup runneth over. Thank you. We adore you.
And we have a button somewhere. I don't know if I put it on your thing, but about our Sunday drives that have now changed to driving Disney's backyard. But one of the themes that happens in there, I've just kind of leaned into it, is that when you say things and it put things in my head, you said, pick up the peaches, right? So just for those of you at home that like 70s music, this is Pick Up the Pieces by Average White Band. Pick up the peaches. Oh, so now I have Pick Up the Peaches in my career. Okay, anyway, so that's all I'd say about that.
That's too funny. Okay. All right. Very good. So so thank you for the peaches. Everything was lovely and wonderful. And by the way, you don't have to get us gifts, people. But what I loved about that is that it was a random We've got some extra peaches. I wonder if Amy and her girls would like some. And that was just so thoughtful. So thank you. All right. So let me go on. I was getting ready to hit some.
Question at the bottom.
I see it. Yeah, I was gonna do something else first though. I don't know where it is. All right, well, I guess I'll do that one now. All right, question. Not a house trailer, but a home that is manufactured home looks more like a house in Orlando area. Is it possible to buy one, but do not have to pay lot rent? Thanks. That is honestly a question I don't know.
Well, it just depends on where you buy it, because if you're buying the lot as well, then you have to pay rent.
Right, but it again, it depends on the community, and there are some. There was one that I had a client that was not in our area, and so I told them, I said, I would not be the best to serve you in that area because it was a type of a home and a type of a community that was not something I was accustomed to, about 2.5 hours away. So as much as I would love to help that person, my job is wanting to do the best thing for you. And I don't really even remember what happened. That's a really good question. I'll look into that a little bit more, but we don't have a lot of those around here where I typically live and service. But I do know that there are some of them. There was one that we looked at for quite a while with some clients that it was you paid for the manufactured home and the lot was included. You owned the lot too. But I don't think that's true in every case. That's a really good question. So I don't know the answer. I apologize. I'll see if I can find that out for you. Miss Arlene popped in. Good morning, Miss Arlene. Okay, and then Sydney, do you have a curio cabinet to your house mug? So many beautiful mugs. I know, right? So I don't have a curio cabinet. I have some glass cabinets in our kitchen, and I've often wondered if I should rearrange them and put them in there, but I don't know. I honestly kind of rotate them around a little bit, like on the tip top shelves or kind of like the seasonal ones. And then, but when I'm, it's funny because in the morning, I usually get one that has like a lid on it so that it could, like the Corsical kind that have like a thing so it can stay warmer longer. But if I'm having like my afternoon 2:00 coffee, if I happen to be at home and able to have that, that's when I usually like to use one of these mugs, because then I just kind of sit. Sometimes I'm sitting at my computer and I'll be holding my coffee and doing computer work or something. But anyway, but that's a good idea. Maybe I should get a curio cabinet. I'll have to go check them out. Shopping? What did you say? I need to go shopping? Is that what you just said? All right, so let's move on. Let me go to, what was the other thing I was going to go to? Hold on.
I don't know. What you're watching.
I do have what I'm watching, but yes. Yeah, so what? Actually, yeah, the scoop. But yeah, let's do scoop. We'll scoop it. Okay, so this is exciting. So, what did I say it was? Seasons? No, what did I say it was, Eric? Hold on.
Gracious.
I know.
62 socials.
Thank you. I was like, it's not seasons. 62 socials. So this is a restaurant and cigar bar that's kind of coming to is it Hamlin, right? Is it in the Hamlin area?
Yes, it is.
Would it be typical considered Hamlin?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So this is new. I'm not really sure where they are kind of in the permitting aspect, if they're in permitting, if they're out of permitting, or if it's just rumor at the moment. But this is what we're hearing. So I believe, and obviously this is a rendering of it. That's not real. It doesn't exist yet. But I believe that there's kind of like the liquor store part of it. Is that correct, Eric? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
And a rooftop restaurant.
And then, yeah. And what's really cool, though, is look over to the right side of that picture, kind of the rooftop, like the outdoor seating. And oh, it's going to be fun. I mean, not that I'm a big cigar person, but I do smell cigars and I think of my dad. So there's a pleasant reminder of a cigar smell. Prefer cigar smell to cigarette smell any day, but so excited about that. And by the way, do any of you know anything about this business? Do they have any of these anywhere near you? What are your thoughts on this? But it definitely is a cool aesthetic if that ends up being what it looks like. What was the name of the one that we were talking about the other day, honey? That the Mexican restaurant that has a really cool, vibrant exterior with all like this skeleton thingy.
Oh, Agave is coming soon.
Yeah, that's gonna be exciting.
Right next to Ford's Garage. Yes.
Yeah, we drove past that the other day, and you can see them kind of working the ground for that. So that's exciting. Okay, cool. So
some other questions down there.
Yeah. Susie Q. Oh wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. My glasses. Tracy, are the TVs included in the sale of the beautiful home? That we're live streaming from. So that's a really good question. So I think that is something that is kind of negotiable in kind of the if somebody comes in and they want that whole setup, then I'm sure that's something that we can consider. Keeping in mind that I always advise my clients, whether you are a client here watching or whether you are selling your home in Arizona and I have no way to help you, I always advise clients to leave the TV mounts to the home, so that if you do remove your TV because you want to take the TV with you, please don't remove the mounts unless the buyer wants you to. But I would state that the TV mounts remain in the home because you do not want to leave big holes unpatched, nor do you want to patch them by removing those big, massive mounts. So keep that in mind. But if you are interested in this, Ms. Tracy, I'm sure we can work something out for you. So that's exciting, though. That's a really good question, though. Especially this setup that they have over here, where they've got the 3 that are back here, and there's the 1 again back behind the bar. The other ones they may be taking with them, but we'll find out for you. Just call me. We'll get the TVs for you. All right. What else do we have to do? I don't want to talk about the listings.
Susie Q had a question.
Oh, she did. I'll go to Susie Q in just a minute. All right. So first I want to do again just to kind of update on the listings. Sorry, up and down with the glasses today. So we have our Ashby over in Estates at Lakeview Preserve, the beautiful 1-story big Ashby floor plan by Pulte. Beautiful 3-car garage, absolutely gorgeous. Big backyard, beautiful community, Winter Garden area, gated. I don't know if I mentioned that to you or not, but it's gated. It's kind of in Lake County schools, Lake County taxes, but still technically Winter Garden. So you're still close to all the fun things that you need wanting to live here in Disney's backyard. We still have our dual master Lafayette over in Watermark. This is the Lafayette floor plan, true actual dual masters. Lots of square footage. So if you are looking for something that you literally need, not just an ensuite, you don't need just, an ensuite, you need actual 2 primary bedrooms. This house has it for you. It also has 2 laundry rooms, 1 up, 1 down, primary, 1 up, 1 down. 2 game rooms. This is the house of 2s. It's amazing. It's also on a corner home site, so easy access if you want to add a pool. Talashe Whopper. This is that big, beautiful home that we've talked about before, under $700,000 out in Howie in the Hills. Talashe, this is Dreamfinder, same builder that built this beautiful home that I'm in right now. Groveland, 1-story. This one is now $399,000, so under $400,000 with a big, beautiful backyard as well. Dr. Phillips, 1-story. This one is getting showing after showing after showing after showing after showing. Some of the other ones, it's quite slow, to be quite honest. But this one in Dr. Phillips is like a revolving door of people looking to see it. And this kind of goes back to part of why we talked about maybe doing ROI, return on investment, as part of our conversation today. Because even as we speak, I believe, or as we finish the show, we're going to have an inspection done on this property to find out. The roof was 2006. So we're going to talk to the seller about maybe we need to replace that roof, because even if someone purchased it now, they would not be able to get, most likely, insurance on the home. So that's going to be part of the conversation. So the return on the investment. So if we put the new roof on it, how is that going to affect a new list price potentially? Because now we've added something of real value to that home. So that's part of what instigated our conversation. Davenport, we have that investment property. Again, it doesn't have to be an investment property. These clients live in it full time. 2-story, but it is zoned in a short-term rental area. We have this beautiful home that we're in right now here in Wincy Groves, also by Dreamfinders. There you are. You see that pub that is listed right, or you see the middle picture in the bottom. That's kind of where we're sitting right now. Big, beautiful home. Look at that kitchen with the massive cabinets and counters that wrap all the way around. That's amazing. So this home, this is where we are right here today. We also have we have a lot. Honestly, I think I counted, is there 12 listings at the moment?
I might be only 10.
Well, we got the one up and off real quick. New listing. This is Primrose, on Primrose rather, out in Davenport, and it's Williams Preserve. Yes, thank you. I was like, I don't know why I was drawing a blank on that. So this is also an area that is zoned short-term rental. So if you wanted to use this as an investment property, you could. My homeowners use it as their primary residence. So this is another beautiful home. This is actually 4 bedrooms. So what's really nice about this townhome that's going to set it apart from the others is that there is a bedroom on the first floor, a generous sized bedroom with a full bathroom on the first floor, while the other 3 bedrooms and 2 more baths are upstairs. So this is a great option if you are in a townhome situation and you need someone who needs to reside on the first floor because they can't do stairs. So that's another good one. All right. Yes, sir. What you popped over here? What you look at? What's going on with the Olympics?
It's 4-4 USA versus Spain.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, he's watching the Olympics. All right, so let's move on to what else do we have? I don't think we have. Oh, we have what I'm watching. This is kind of boring, but we'll go for it. Okay, so sort of watching Big Brother. So I have to tell you the backstory with this. I won't say I'm a super fan. In fact, the last couple seasons I haven't watched. But when this show first started, it's always running in the summer, right? It's always like a July thing. And what's interesting is, or summer, I don't really know when it normally starts, but I always had my babies in the summer, the exception of my firstborn, who was in January. My other 3 children were born in the summer months because I had to plan those around my dance studio. And it was always something when Big Brother came on, it was perfect. It was like it gave me something to look forward to each week, and it would come on a couple times a week, right? So it was always something fun and exciting to wait for. This was before we could just, stream it and watch every episode. Boom, 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 boom. But anyway, so Elizabeth and Steele came over with Elsie. The other day, Steele had to go do something, and so Elizabeth was going to come over and hang out with us. And so when she came over, we're like, well, let's just put something on while she's nursing the baby or the baby's napping. So we watched, really, it was just the first, like the premiere episodes. Anyway, so that's kind of what I'm watching at the moment. We kind of stopped watching it because it seemed too rigged. We're like, okay, this is getting to the point where it's a little obvious. Expect the unexpected means the producers get to make things happen the way they want them to happen. But so we got a little tired of it, but I am going to start watching it again and just kind of see what happens, kind of fill in the gaps of the other shows that I'm watching if I want a laugh or something. So anyway, so there's that. All right, I think we got to most everything today, my friends. It is 10.
Let's see if I hit the right button.
Yes.
So just as a reminder.
Oh, yes.
We're driving Disney's Backyard. So we'll get this part 2 of that this week. We were trying to get to Palm Sarah Noah, had a big lightning storm.
Yeah.
And we also have a bonus feature that we'll be putting on like other means of social media where we got soaked in that storm and I thought we were going to die. But that's coming up this week on Driving Disney's Backyard.
Yay. That was so funny. Everybody, when we said it'll be the last Sunday drive, everybody was freaking out. They were like so sad. So that actually made us happy that you care about that. But yeah, I think it's probably just a little bit more appropriate to name it something else. Yes, sir?
Miss Arlene just asked you a question.
Miss Arlene. Hold on. Question. Why don't you ever have any listings for vacant land? I do. They just sell. You're welcome. But yeah, no, I do. I have had. I sold some vacant land out in the Everglades. We had one out past Howie in the Hills. There was one on Sidell, a big piece of property over in Sidell. So yeah, I've sold vacant land for sure. I mean, obviously, if it's zoned residential, for sure.
And around here, usually the land is big parcels of land, and that's not really our specialty.
Yeah. So yeah, the one over here off of Sidell were some repeat clients. I helped them when they built a big, beautiful home. They also bought this land, and then they had dreams for the land. It just never kind of came to fruition. Life situations changed things, so we sold that. But yeah, no, I have had vacant land for sure. Just obviously not as often as I have the houses, but if you have some vacant land you need me to list, you just let me know. But yeah, absolutely. In fact, the first piece of vacant land that I sold was out in the Everglades, which was interesting. And it was for an old high school friend of mine. It was her father's property that he had bought a gazillion years ago. And he was getting older and he was just kind of tidying up his estate things. And he needed to get rid of that property. So I kind of thought it would never sell, but it sold pretty quickly. And I mean, it wasn't very expensive. I've sold land that wasn't very expensive and some that was very expensive. And I think that's part of it too. You sometimes find that land, unless it's a ton of acreage in a really desirable spot, it's usually, the price point on it is a little different too. So it's just different. But yeah, absolutely. And I've helped clients buy vacant land before too. So even though I haven't listed it, I've had clients buy vacant land as well. So just not as often, but absolutely have done that many times, my friend. All right, let's see. Anything else going on?
Get out of here.
Kim says, I know someone who was on a reality show. There's nothing real about that. Right? See? Okay, well, you're going to give me the inside scoop on that. I do know that, well, I don't want to blow it for all the HGTV fans out there, but I do know that some of those are also they're pre-done. They've already bought the house before they even do the show. So Miss Arlene says she's going to be buying. Okay, well, let me know if I can help you, my friend. All right, guys, so we are going to get going for today. I think I got everything, right? I think I got all of my little buttons over here pushed. I believe I did. If not, it clearly wasn't that important. All right, so as we wrap up our Monday coffee time for July 29th, I'm not sure when that happened. And once again, a summer has gone by, and I'm like, I don't know what happened. But at any rate, Elizabeth says, someone just woke up from her nap. She says hello to Mimi and Poppy. Yay. Hello, Elsie. And I bet Easton's there with Allie too. So as Allie says, don't forget to like the stream. So as a reminder, guys, we appreciate you guys so much watching and joining us every Monday morning, or any of the Monday mornings that you can. We appreciate it so much. As always, even if you're not chatting with us here, we know you exist and that you're watching. We appreciate you as well. And as always, we want to remind you to please stay safe, stay well. Remember, we love you guys. Happy house hunting. Eric says he fixed my end button.
I did. And remember to pick up the peaches.
Oh, pick up the peaches. Pick up the peaches.